You want to tell him what you got here?
Well, that's the pie crust.
Okay.
For the mold oven.
Okay.
I gotta roll them out now.
All right, so you made the pie crust just like you normally make a pie crust.
Yeah, you don't have to make it quite so rich, but I got this pretty rich.
Well, this looks like a big bowl. How many pies would that make?
Oh, I think I could maybe make 3. Oh, for pies? I think it takes a little more for pie.
So you got,
I think that would be for 2 pies.
okay. 2 double crust pies. Okay, so you know about how much pie crust she's made here. Now, do we need to peel the apples?
Of course, it depends upon how much you want to make, you know. Yeah, the apples are here.
Daddy, we
Okay.
got the apple peeler.
Yeah, we can use the apple peeler. Laura, where is it?
Grandma, how many are you gonna peel?
Where's the apple peeler?
How many apples are you gonna peel?
It's up here.
Well, we'll slice them right into the dough, and then we'll know how many.
Okay.
I don't think it takes over 4.
4 or 5 apples? Okay, we'll start with that. I'll get it, Donna.
Oh,
Okay.
wait.
I see.
Can I help with anything?
Well,
Sure.
What?
Do you want to peel this off of here?
Yeah.
you gonna do now, Grandma? You gonna roll it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's flattening that out just like you would for making a
Yeah.
pie. Put down the flour and put some flour on the
This is.
rolling pin.
Yeah. Is it? Side, I see this one. This one.
See, now she's real careful about how much flour she uses. If I were doing this, I'd just dump some more flour on there.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons her pie crusts are richer than what we make, I suppose, because she doesn't put that additional flour in there.
Grandma, when you say it's richer, you put more Crisco in there or what? What makes it rich?
What makes it what?
Rich.
You said it's richer than
You
regular.
use more shortening.
More shortening?
Yeah.
You want to go this way?
No.
Now, is that just part of it there, Grandma?
Well, now we have to slice the apples.
We had Thursday, all the way from
That's as
Thursday
thin as you
on.
want it to
Is
be?
that right?
Well, you can't make it too thin.
Uh-huh.
Or else it breaks apart. Sometimes it does anyway.
No, I've been out of school for.
I just wondered if you wanted to run like this with it, and
No,
make it
that
longer.
don't have to be.
Okay.
Have you got your oven on? Oh, 350.
350. Okay, oven goes up to 350. You want these all in the center?
No, no.
No?
Around the outside.
Okay. Around the outside, folks.
And in the
Move your hand there,
center.
Donna.
Huh?
Move your hand so I can. Okay. You
For the
gonna
hell of it.
you gonna line that whole thing, Grandma? You gonna cover that all with apple?
Yeah.
Baffle. What does she make it?
Oh, Dasha.
I always slice them thinner than that.
Mom washing the door? You
Huh?
got that before, haven't you?
Cinnamon and stuff?
Now I want the sugar and the,
Where is it?
We got.
Whatever you want.
yeah, I just sprinkle it on there.
How much sugar and how much cinnamon?
Let me see how dark it is. Open the cover up there. Honestly.
Well, you can do whatever you want to do, whatever your taste is. Bigger?
Oh, that's fine. See, you just sprinkle it on.
Just shovel it on. It looks to me.
That's just sugar, plain sugar? Sugar and cinnamon.
Like you
Wow.
do the pie.
We'll put a lot on.
That's why we like this so much.
She says just sprinkle it on.
We wouldn't want our bodies to go to waste.
That is sprinkle. I wouldn't want to see if it was dumped.
Daddy, can I go get a little?
Just little dabs of butter, huh, Grandma?
Or butter. Or margarine.
Well, we gotta use butter. We're in Wisconsin. Ain't gonna go broke if we don't use butter.
Well, I use margarine because I like the taste of it better.
Oh, God darn, you're a traitor.
Grandma,
For
you're
all
gonna
of
record
these
her
people
stick in
who
there.
were farmers.
funny.
We should have had a second camera so we could take a picture of Nick's face while we're doing this. What is looks good?
Again.
What?
Leave from the ceiling again.
Now I'm sprinkling on the lemon.
Yeah, that's
Now what, Grandma?
one of those skylights like
Cold water? Right there. Right there's the faucet. Eric, don't you run into Grandma with that.
She's putting a little water on?
Yeah, around the outside so it's thick.
Oh, all right. And you put a little lemon juice on?
Eric, if you
like
use
the
Grandma with
apple
that, it's gonna
cider?
be your head.
Well, just to give it a different taste.
Okay. And then she put dabs of water around the edge so that this will stick together now as she rolls it up. Okay, and she's rolling it up like you do the long way anyway, the long way.
Anyway, either way, you can roll it anyway.
And she presses it together on the edge.
Yeah.
Is that a thing, Grandma? How you do it?
Well, then she has to make the custard to go around the outside. But now you're ready to put this in a loaf pan? Oh, okay.
What's the rest of that dough for?
See, I get this.
She's gonna make more.
I ended up
Oh.
checking that one.
Is this, normally you'd put it in a loaf pan though, wouldn't you, Mom?
Any pan you want to.
Okay,
But I just thought this would be a little bit deeper that it won't run over.
I see. So she's, okay. This is 3 eggs. That's going to go, be part of the custard to go around the maldash, and all we did was beat it up. And we're gonna add milk to that, just like you would for scrambled eggs.
Okay.
Now I'm 50.
Grandma, you're making another one, right?
Would you like a brandy slush, beer, lemonade? Oh gosh, whatever. Pop would be good for me. The guys might like something to drink. Now, how much
How
milk?
much milk there, Grandma?
Is this
How much you
Garbage disposal,
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
Grandma, how much milk goes in there?
Serve yourself.
Huh?
How much milk goes in here? Just a guess?
Well,
Serve yourself.
Pour?
pour in.
How much?
I'm gonna pour.
She'll tell me to
Put
stop
in a
pouring.
cup or so. Well, just pour in, then I'll tell you.
Could you do that last, please? Could you do
More somewhere in there. Okay, we'll try it at that.
That's about 15 seconds of pouring.
Well, whoops, okay, I think I spritzed you with this.
Brand new water.
You can see the color.
No!
It's pretty much milk. It's pretty much milk.
Looks like eggnog.
It looks like eggnog, if not a little longer. So
Be a lot of time.
that gives you lots of time. See, what's happened is she picked this up. The crust broke. So what she's doing is making a patch. All of us know about patches. After 40, it's patch, patch, patch.
I had the crust a little bit too rich.
So if you would put less shortening in,
That's why it.
Luke, I have some pepper
don't let
shakes.
Luke have it.
He has some already.
Okay, so she's gonna put this on top of the break. Are you gonna just set it on there, or? Okay,
So you got two loaves in there now, huh, Grandma?
right.
Okay.
And then
Now
what we
put
do is,
it in the oven.
When do you put the
when
stuff
do we
on
pour
top?
the stuff on?
Bake it just for, say, maybe 10 minutes.
Okay,
And then put the
And we bake it, what, 300, Grandma?
350.
350, about 10 minutes.
okay,
And bake it
Covered or
about
uncovered?
10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, and then put the milk on.
all right, and
And then,
do we put any cover on this?
No.
All right, 10 to 15?
this is Grandma's pie crust recipe?
Mm-hmm. How many pies will this make, Mom?
Oh, that's for what? I think that's for one.
A double crust pie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 4 cups of flour. That seems like a lot for one double crust
Yeah.
pie.
Of course, usually you have some left.
Mm-hmm.
This is, and this one is a never fail
Okay,
recipe.
and this is for a double crust?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What do you mean, 4 cups and sometimes you have some left over? Does
No,
that
she
mean
means that when she makes the crust,
too much
she
crust.
has too much left.
Depends upon how thin you roll it out.
Uh-huh. 4 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of lard or Crisco, 1 egg or more, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vinegar, then cold water to mix.
Whoa.
Okay, now what do you got? You
All
got
right, she has 2 bags of croutons that are 8 ounce.
That is for 2 batches.
that's 2 batches, and that's for needles now. We
Yeah.
got away from the Maldosh, now we're on needles.
And then we're adding 2 cups of hot water. And this isn't going to be 2 cups.
Well, you can put more tap water in.
This is dang. Daddy?
And you're gonna put, just a minute, Eric. You're gonna put 2 cups of hot water in the gram and then mix it up? Soak it up good?
Yeah, but for 1 batch, it's only 1 cup of hot water.
Yeah, but you got 2 bags, so you got 2 cups.
Yeah. Because 1 bag only makes a big thing, maybe 7 or
Then I
8.
got one
Okay.
thing.
That's all right.
She's going to cover it so that the steam will soak up the bread. Now, what do you need? The wax paper there or
No, I should have a cover.
That's why
You want something for it?
A cover.
on there so the steam from the hot water will soak up the bread?
But you don't stir it up at all. You just pour it in there.
You leave it this way for a little bit and then take a spoon and
What? Eric, get out of here with that. A little bit is, a little bit's what, 5 minutes, Grandma?
How long do you want this to sit like this?
No, it takes anyhow 20 minutes or so.
For it
20
to
minutes
sit like
just a
this?
set? Is that right?
Okay.
Okay.
And then after the 20 minutes, you stir it up so you get all the ones on the bottom. Be sure they're wet.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Now you want to do a Maldashin now?
The Maldashin is about ready to come out of the oven. It's been in there for 10
I'm
minutes.
going to put the milk on.
Well, I know. We got to bring it out to put the milk on. We're going to bring it out and put the milk and egg mixture around it now.
Yeah.
Put it right on top here,
To make the custard. And we just pour it right over the top, Mom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're just going to pour it right over. And it almost covers it.
Yeah.
Is that enough, or should it totally cover it?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
And then put a little of that sugar over on top.
Okay, this is the sugar and the cinnamon mixed.
Yeah.
And we're going to add another pound of weight here. And add a little more sugar and cinnamon to the top of this crust.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do we put a lid on that, or
No.
no lid?
Make it like that.
And it stays at 350 for another 45 minutes?
Well, anyhow. Yeah.
At least.
Until it gets nice and brown.
45 minutes to an hour, and this custard cooks up and
Yeah.
thickens.
Okay, you're on.
Okay. This is Mom's never fail pie crust recipe. 3 cups of flour.
4.
1.
Oh, sorry.
Who's doing
We got
this?
2 different
Miriam.
ones, is that it?
Yeah.
Which one are you supposed to use?
Whatever you feel. If you have confidence in yourself, you use this one. If you need a never fail, Nick, you use a never fail.
I
Okay.
got you covered.
3 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of shortening, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, 5 tablespoons of water, 1 teaspoon of vinegar. Beat the egg.
I'm getting the eggs ready for the needles.
Okay, now what do you got? Talk to me.
Two eggs to 1 batch. That makes 4 now because I got 2 batches.
Okay, and what else is in there?
Well, when the bread is ready, when that's soaked up enough, then I put some melted shortening, some melted lard or Crisco.
Yeah, but all you got in there is egg?
Eggs.
That's all you got? Okay.
You want me to go through the recipe for needles while we're...
No, I think I'll try something different next time.
Okay. So she's beaten up the 4 eggs. And then the other eggs that she has there, she's got 4 more eggs she's going to use for the potato pancakes.
Okay.
We have to have some potatoes peeled. Have you got potatoes?
Yep, how many? What do you want to do next? You're just going to beat that for a while? I can turn this
I
off then?
have to wait now until I get the bread.
I thought that had to be in 20 minutes. Only been here about 5.
Yeah, it's been in there 10 minutes, yeah.
So now you're just stirring up is all.
I did what?
You're just stirring it up is all you need to know.
Yeah.
Those croutons are all moistened. And you're putting in 8 tablespoons of shortening. Right? Melted shortening.
She used to be taller than that.
Okay.
Now what do we do?
But she's 93.
See what I'm doing now.
She don't do it.
Oh, I'm gonna put on the eggs now.
And that's just the 4 eggs with nothing added to it.
No.
She used about half of that stuff, didn't she? How many tablespoons of?
She put 8 in.
Okay. And 4 eggs.
Now what, Grandma? Just mix it up?
Need a big spoon? Her recipe says salt to taste.
That's kind of like sugar to taste. Is that about done then, Grandma?
Hmm?
Are those about done then? Those
No,
noodles?
I gotta mix the flour in then yet.
How much flour do you need?
I don't remember. Well, what did it say on the? I think it's 2 tablespoons.
Oh, is that right?
Hi, Luke.
2 tablespoons.
Is that per batch, Donna?
When you make the bills, don't squeeze them cubes together. Just roll them, you know, or else they get tough.
Okay. So you may want to take a picture of what this looks like, Nick.
Gotta stick to your fingers like it does to yours, aren't you? Now you gonna test it?
Yeah. I don't know if this is boiling yet. Is water boiling?
There, Grandma.
Yeah.
Now, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna put that in there and put the cover on and boil it for a few minutes.
And then what? What are we looking for? To see if it stays
Then I
together?
wanna see if it sticks together.
And then what? If it sticks together, we're in good shape. If not, what do we do?
Well, then it's all right. Well, then you don't do anything. Then I'll make the rest of them
Okay?
and have them ready for when the water is hot.
What if it's not, what if it doesn't stick together? Then what do you add? Flour?
Well, you have to add more flour. Of course, it might make them more tough.
And then test the next one. And then
Add some flour
you
and then
test,
test it.
it again?
Yeah.
What, 2 or 3 minutes is the way you test it? 5
Yeah.
minutes?
Together, so she knows that she doesn't need to add more flour.
Okay, you take it out there and dump that right in the other one or something?
You can eat it,
I always eat it.
okay? And what would,
Is that okay?
so you put water on your hands in between each one that you roll.
Don't pack it, just roll it. Huh?
Just roll it. Gentle as a lamb.
For some reason you like better when Grandma doesn't.
Huh? Would you like water on your lens?
I've had water in my lens most of my life.
No, it's been water on the brain, Nick. It's not been on the
What's
lens.
Grandma doing? Grandma's making potato pancakes.
Grandma's grating potatoes for potato pancakes.
We haven't seen you do anything.
All right, she took the potatoes and put them in the blender with some water. And blended them up so
Just
that they got to be
look like
real,
Diarrhea.
like the wrong color, but about the same texture.
Right texture.
And then what she did was when she had it all blended, she put it in the colander for just a second, let the water run off, and then poured it back in here so that it wasn't too soupy for when she puts it in the batter for the pancakes.
And all it is
All that is potatoes, grated.
Now I put the eggs in there.
She used to beat fudge like this. She mixed up cakes from scratch, sitting in the chair with a bowl between her legs, beating on it. When I was a little girl, that's what I watched you do all the time. And you used to do that with fudge too, to bake a cake.
Oh yeah, well the more you beat your cake dough, or the finer your cake gets. I know I don't beat it enough.
Okay, so she's gonna add 4 eggs. You need a spoon? Stir it up.
Yeah, well I put some milk in there yet.
Okay.
what, 10 seconds of pouring here?
Huh?
How much pour in here? About 10 seconds worth?
Oh, I never measure the milk. I just kind of go by guess.
Maybe you can get a picture of the difference in color. So,
Salt? Lightly salted.
We take quite a bit of salt.
You want that grill hot, Grandma?
Yeah, but you have to get your water hot for your tomatoes too.
It's boiling.
Oh.
Are you done there now mixing that, Grandma? Did I turn this off?
No, I gotta put some flour in yet.
Donna, you want to check those mold offs?
oh, they're doing fine. But let's take a look at them.
Don't back up, Grandma. Grandma, don't back up.
No.
What we did was we turned it around end for end a few minutes ago.
Okay.
That can be turned down now.
All right, so
Turn it down to what, Grandma? This side, Donna.
Oh, turn it down to,
just to keep it warm,
yeah.
Why don't you turn it
down
off?
to,
It'll stay warm there for a long time.
all
How
right.
much flour, Grandma?
Oh, just put some in there.
How thick are you trying to get it now, Grandma? By adding the flour.
Well, I try one.
Oh, okay. She tries to make one and sees whether it.
You want to turn both those burners on high there, Donna? The other side, the other side. Those two. You gotta push down to turn them, I think.
Put your tomatoes into the water and boil them.
Are we ready?
They can stay in the water until we get this.
Till we get everything else done?
Yeah.
This water is rapid boil here. Just because it wasn't quite thick enough, huh, Mom? How did you decide it wasn't thick enough?
Well, they're awfully thin.
I see. They're too thin, so that's why she added more flour to make them thicker.
Okay. We want some applesauce, Grandma?
There's applesauce there in the
You
thing.
brought applesauce too, huh?
And the nails are boiling?
Yeah, we'll just need.
Did it
You
cover
can
up?
turn that off now, I think.
Okay.
Front.
And you want the gravy to start to heat back here?
Yeah. Then we have to have a thick one to thicken it, I guess.
You're supposed to be here to get that. That's the tribal chieftain.
Get it, Johnny, get it. Get it, go.
Grandma? Look here. Hooray! That was very good. It's uncomfortable for her. Oh yeah?
Light that candle.
This is the other one. That's the other one. That's next one.
Come on.
From the other side.
Do another candle.
What does the meaning of that?
I put it
No,
on.
for everyone you don't blow out, you got a boyfriend. So let's not get started. You kids come in.
Oh, hell.
One more time. Come on, Grandma. One more time.
Are we together?
Boy, she's a pro. She was a model. I was in charge of that. Sorry, one more. She was terrible. Good. Smile. Good. One more time. Okay.
We're done?
Yeah, you're done.
Let's go.
Okay, who's next?
Oh, you're gonna go?
Anybody?
We got next event.
Do you want them back in the car, Julie?
We can do them in a minute. We gotta figure out what.
So we got to protect this cord from the trips over there. Slide all the boxes over there. Protect the cord.
Give me your dad's keys and I'll go do that at the same time I take your shoes out.
That's good. No problem.
You got the chair over here. Somebody went already.
Give me them, I'll get rid of them before they get lost. And if you make me, I'll get them again.
Gotta bring your eye in. You can't get to your eye.
Maybe you can see your feeling down.
Joni, you walk. Get out of there.
You can hold the thing.
Best therapy I can have.
Look there, Laura. 5.
Huh?
5. Hurry up. Mom, get out of the way. Lukey, I'm picking that up in here.
I don't know whose coat I got on, but.
I think it's Arnie's.
Oh, whose that is?
Where did you put the massage? I have it.
Nice and smile. Good, Grandma. You're doing good. Eyes here. Okay, one more time. Just look down at the name everybody. Just kind of, don't move it. Just kind of looking down at the name. Oh, you just smiled and everybody. Just like you know. Just like you know. Okay. All right, good.
Laura, I'm gonna put that chair right up here.
Now what group is going in next? You guys? Okay.
Huh?
What? We're gonna be next. Get Luke. Luke. Come here.
About 1,000 more. Laura, move.
Maybe the guys, maybe a couple of the guys, or someone, just kind of kneel down and watch the camera. What on the side? Looks like actually, why would you, why would you have mom and dad do
Smile, Grandma.
That's good, all right? Here we go now. Smile while she's getting her. That's your favorite. All the time.
Yeah, protect this one because my kids are like that.
Couple more. There we go. We'll have her grandma ask and we're picking up. Good, that's fine. One more time. There we go.
Even if you kneel, you're still gonna be.
One more. Big smile. Come on, guys, huh? There we go. That's good. Nice. Good. All right. There we go.
Hey, can we go?
Okay. Go on up there and I'll leave a spot for me then, Laura. This where next? I don't know where she is. Look at Mom's.
There we go. Now, roll that smile with your Okay, good. Good, very fine. There we go. Nice, here, good. Good, that's fine. One more time, big smile. One time. That's good. Good. Okay.
You're doing good.
Grandma's holding up pretty well, eh?
Just kind of protect that. You can zoom in a little bit. And Laura's listen to her.
Yeah, why don't we do it that way? Why don't we?
My mom. She's right over there.
Dad.
Oh, we're gonna get our picture.
Dina. There's my coat. That woman stole my coat.
Dad. Dad. Can you take this down?
Yeah, right there.
Oh, I see.
That's pretty good, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Now it's a little better.
We got a couple more weddings coming up. 40 years.
I mean, it's just different from that. Not a very good fish.
Tightens down right here for that. That tightens this one. This tightens
I mean,
this way.
it's like some move on that.
Snug it up, yeah, it's snugged up.
Happy birthday to you.
Okay, guys? Looking right up and down, it's good. Look at it, Arnie. Okay, you know, eyes good, that's fine. That's good. Just a little bit. Yeah, just turn it, not to, yeah, not to the down, more down. Now to the there we go. Okay, eyes are good, that's fine. Give her a smile, you guys, in front.
Jeannie, get out of the way.
Oh, I didn't know you were doing that. Sorry. Sorry.
Marianne, Marianne.
You see?
Huh?
You see?
Nick, how's your new venture working out?
That kind of like that.
Off to the start?
It's slow start, but this time you're expecting stuff.
Yeah.
And that's just fine by me. I'm just
Gordon, what the hell are
this
you
way,
doing?
this way, and going to house, and I don't like what they turn. And that's the way they do it. Then they learn.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do the blue in the face, but until you, oh yeah, now I realize why, you know.
Culver's ready to take over.
I'm gonna do a carpet tomorrow morning.
Oh, are you?
I'll set it up.
Oh.
Set it up in the morning.
Oh, okay, that's what you were up to.
No, not yet.
And I get to when you do it.
What?
I asked a long time.
Just take it off. Don't be careful. I don't want you kids knocking that off there.
You said when you take it around. You want to do it now.
Tell me when to get off.
Not yet. No, another year.
About our thought, yeah. Pretty heavy. I just thought I'd check, see if we were unique or
That's how they think. Yeah, that's how they think. I don't know.
Thank you. Now, you can take this out of the kitchen.
Try that.
I'd be easy.
Yeah, right.
Alright. Something like that. Good. Alright. Okay, here we go. Just kind of scroll this way just a little bit. Alright, look right here. That little guy's got his hands kind of waving in front of his face there. There we go. Looking right at me now. Eyes here. There it is. Fine. Try to come apart. You're doing good. Right at me. Good. That's fine. One more smile in the back row, huh? That's good. Look here. Okay, one more. Doing great. Here we go. Eyes here. Good job. Okay. Good.
Elephant.
All right.
What's great is the tail has a trunk.
Well, come here when the picture's here. Come here, never picture.
Now what?
Now we have a generation. Oh, no, you're not married her yet.
Okay, and Mary.
Luke.
How is Aunt Mary related to Grandma?
Her husband just died about 3 months ago.
Oh, it's Albert. So
I'll be
Miss Grandma?
Is that on, I guess? And I've been walking around. No, we walk underneath. Yeah. I'm short enough for that.
I think I got your bald head in there.
Big thing.
Stranger? Okay, there we go. That's it. Real smile now. That's it.
Good.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. Okay. Oh, you got different paradigms now, huh? Wow, wonderful. I'll take it away on me here. So, should I get a chair for you to sit or just want to sit?
Hey!
Are we getting just for that, Mary?
Just those three.
Unless you want to do it, well, I got
She says no.
We don't. How you doing? You gonna swim this summer?
Mary Lou's bashful.
She's bashful.
Why don't I? You all right? Like you say. Looking right at me now, okay? There we go. Otherwise, if someone gets too tall,
We got one with
okay, looking right at me, you guys.
just the children and the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren and the great-great-grandchildren. Well, we go off with them.
Okay, great, all right.
And then all of us.
Okay, now what? Now we're going to try a picture with all the grandchildren. Great-grandchildren.
What? Get in there. Luke, get in there. Eric, get in there. Take that hat off. Get in the picture.
Dad, where's Luke?
Grandchildren, great-grandchildren.
Where is Luke?
I don't know.
We're going to do another smaller.
Hey, Molly, get out of the way.
What do you want? Grandchildren or great-grandchildren?
I don't know. Jones, throwing the bodies at me.
Okay, Joan, what
Luke.
are we doing? Grandchildren?
I don't know, what do you think? Do you think everybody want a picture of the great grandchildren, or should we just call it quick? I don't want to tell you too much.
I gotta do the great.
Great grandchildren, yeah.
Look, can we go?
Because we don't have all those.
Dad,
No,
Yeah, great-grandchildren.
we don't have
Yeah,
a
we don't have all the
job.
Hold on, let's see what we can get.
Dad,
Just do great grandchildren.
Dad, can we?
Then maybe,
Rita, Judy. All right. Whoop these guys in shape.
Judy.
Hi on the way. Well, tough. Were you guys in here?
here we go. Okay, here we go, guys. Hold our statue. Okay, here we go. Ready? Good. Straight. More.
I don't have to pay for it.
That's good. Looking at me. Good.
Whatever you do.
Probably be rather on the plane someplace. Not very high. Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. Good.
Great-grandchildren. Great-grandchildren.
Okay. Okay. Now. Whoa. Wait. Before we all get in here, I want to just take
Very cool.
Just the great-grandchildren. Okay. Now.
George,
Obviously, I don't have a big enough background. It's all I'm going to have to stand in the back, and then there's got to be another layer.
Yeah, I can
of
see
another
her.
some are going to have to do
I'm sure. She's just thinking.
So, all one side, find a spot in the back. You know one.
make Aaron sit on the floor in front.
And then somebody's going to have to like stand in between. And then there'll be a row of me, and then a row of so, that's good.
Joni, get out of the way.
Any more tall ones?
Darn kid.
I want you to stand right. That's 24 inches longer. Stand right.
And I tried to explain to him that his great-grandmother and my husband's grandfather were brother and sister. I tried to explain that to him. Yeah.
Now, you want to sit on a chair on your floor?
It's not mine.
Cello?
Well, yeah, we got orange, we got strawberry, and root beer. Is this thing on?
Yeah. You go look from it. Well, we are here. Dick's not here. It's not here. Carol's not here. I think it should. He said, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stuff in my book. Here, I'll tell you what. I mean, Now, why don't you guys sit right on the floor all the way across? Slide back and
Eric, put chewing the gum. Put chewing the gum.
Doing a good job, Grandma.
Grandma, you have to get out and go to the bathroom or anything, Grandma? Grandma, you have to get out and go to the bathroom? Huh? Judy, move it, Fanny, all the way.
Why don't you set that down?
All right, now I'm going to see if I can
Wait a minute, you gotta have one more kid.
Yeah, I know, one more kid. I know, I heard about that already.
Who's missing?
Troy.
Okay, now, here's what we can do here. You go out that way.
Oh, yeah.
Julie, would you just get on the floor and kind of pull the balloons over about 6 inches? Yeah.
I don't want to break that.
I'd rather have the nut done too.
I think he made me pay big money.
Actually, I don't need it. I got Paul okay.
And everybody looks right at me and then? Good.
And hold back for 10 minutes and then we'll get back to you. I'm pretty old. I should be up. Poor Gene, how did you get down there in the knee position?
Where's Troy?
He's coming.
He's Seniority counts for grab. Grandma. Yeah. Let me check, Grandma. She wants a picture with Pauline. She wants a picture with Pauline.
You really saying that?
Yeah, she just said that. So where is Aunt Pauline?
Oh, well, right there she is, over by Aunt Mary.
Grandma wants a picture with you. Hurry up, she can't keep this smile going forever. She's gonna get tired. She wants one, Joan, with Pauline. She wants one with your mom. She said, Grandma. Yeah, Grandma just said.
Right there he is.
Okay, there he is.
Okay, try here. I'll say where I want you. Here over here. Just kneel down. There you go. Okay, just kneel down. That's good. Nice and straight up there. Good.
I don't think we're going to.
No gum, guys.
Make sure you sit real straight back here. There we go. Here we go. Okay, looking at me, you guys. Just kind of put more weight on your right foot so you're in. There we go.
Hey,
We
Grandma.
don't want you to get out of the group here.
Hey, Grandma.
Okay, looking at me,
You're
you guys.
having fun, aren't you? That's good, Graham. Keep
You're
smiling.
doing good.
Almost done.
Good, that's fine. Let's try one more here. Okay, here we go. Look at me. Good. Okay, great. Straight, straight. Well, now I know how big my background can fit. How many people?
Clear out. Kay's still getting
Okay, we're done. Evacuate the area.
He tells the story that Grandma always hated horses, and this is why. One day she and her sister Pauline were taking the buggy to town. As they were coming down Weiss Hill, which was much steeper in those days, the strap holding the buggy back from the horse broke. The buggy plowed into the back of the horse. The horse broke into a full gallop with the bit between its teeth. Pauline had the reins and pulled as hard as she could to slow the horses, but got no response. Grandma hung on for dear life as the horse ran into town going full out. When they reached the corner onto Main Street, the rig was going so fast the buggy went up on 2 wheels and nearly flipped over. The horse did not stop until it got to the livery stable where they normally hitched it. This incident scared Grandma so bad she walked home and never rode the buggy again. She liked to lie on top of the well house, I think that's what she called it, and feel the breeze on her face and sun herself. Can't imagine my mother sunning herself. They had one horse that apparently was very mean. As she laid there one day, this horse came up quietly and grabbed her clothes in his mouth and pulled her off the shed onto the ground with a thud. From then on, the peace and tranquility she had felt previously was disturbed by having to keep one eye out for her nemesis, the horse. One day she was telling me about how she missed some of the old foods they had when she was a kid. I was curious how they had preserved foods without refrigerators. She said they would cook the meat from a butchered cow and place it in earthen jars and pour a layer of fat over the top to seal it from the air. Then when they wanted some, they would dig through the fat and remove as much as they wanted and reseal it. This was a favorite of hers. Thinking they might have some exotic name for this delicacy, I asked what they called it. She looked at me as if I was pretty stupid and said with disgust, "Cooked meat." About 5 years ago, I was in the trailer with her and could tell she was a little upset. After a few minutes, she told me what it was. She had lost her balance while in her kitchen and fell backwards. That's the real McCoy there. She apparently did a backwards roll when she hit the floor and ended up going feet first through the sliding doors under the sink. After reassuring myself that she was not injured, the vision of this frail little old lady doing backward rolls in her kitchen had me in tears with laughter. Her only concern was that I should not tell anyone or they would put her away. I think everyone has heard the story of the Indians attempting to steal the horses. Does anybody remember that story?
Yeah, I do.
Yes. Somebody tell that story, because I don't. I remember hearing it, but I really don't remember the story. Oh, right.
You remember? You want to try it?
Well, they were,
I'll try it, and you can tell me if it's right.
Okay.
I remember sitting there at lunch with Grandma one day, and she was talking about this, and it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen, because I looked over at her, and I could see what was happening in her eyes. And it was really spooky to see that. But she was telling the story how she used to like to lay on the back porch at night and let the cool breeze blow through her hair. And how the Indians had come up, or the Indians or Gypsies, Donna? Indians. And Uncle Carl chased them away, and then later they hid in the ditch, and he thought they were coming back to get the horses. But it was a really incredible story to look at her and see her eyes glistening and see that story right there in her eyes. It was really incredible.
but she
That's
did
what I
say
heard.
that somebody took the gun and shot him there. I think it was Uncle Carl. And that scared him so much, he just went like bat out of hell, out of the road, on the road, out away from the farm. He was so scared.
I can remember her talking about seeing him running over the top of the hill.
And then, I don't know if he came back anymore or not, 'cause I think they thought he might come back during the night.
I think she said that was quite common for Indians to come through.
But
But if they saw a horse they liked, they would come back at
They
another
needed a
time.
horse,
People
yeah.
might not be aware of them being there.
Yeah.
And so one of her brothers did go out looking later on and did find them laying in a ditch. A couple of these Indians were laying in a ditch, and I guess they probably figured they were planning on coming back. And they did shoot in the air and scare them away. But that was, she said she hid the whole time up in her bedroom because she was so frightened. She said, I was always afraid of everything.
Yeah.
I remember Ed Kramer's bulldog. Remember? She always carried that silly seat pole around.
Because she was afraid of the bulldog.
Afraid of
right?
the bulldog, but she was going to go babysit if she could. She'd always come out and babysit, but she carried that seat pole with her. Then I remember too, when we were kids, Judy, Joni, and me, I don't know if Rita was involved, but we were that big, and she'd sit on the couch and fall asleep. Actually, we were.
You were that
But she'd fall asleep sitting up, and we all three or four would stand there combing her hair.
Yeah.
That's what I
Remember
remember.
that story?
Combing her hair.
She'd sit on the couch and we'd sit on the back of the sofa.
Right around the couch, right around her.
And she'd just let us brush and brush and brush.
And she'd fall asleep
real
sitting
long,
up.
And she just loved it. She just
loved it.
relaxed.
I don't know how she could love it because we'd hit snags and, it would pull it. But she just let us do that for hours. Did she do that with you guys too?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, yeah.
I remember her
I
being
gotta
real
tell a
afraid
story.
of things. Because she'd sit in the old house where you had those little windows upstairs, and whenever it was bar time, she'd sit at the window and watch for everybody to go home to make sure that nobody came to the house. She'd sit, she'd watch every car and watch every person walk by. I never knew if she was really scared or if she was just too damn nosy and didn't know what was going on in the street when everybody was going home.
I got to tell a story. When Butch and I were little, again, we were little at one time.
Yeah.
We were down at your house, and Grandma gave both Butch and I a bath in the bathtub at the same time. And Butch went tinkle in the water. I didn't tell Grandma until we were all done. I said, Grandma, Butchie went tinkle in the potty. Boy, did Butchie get a spanking.
That's amazing because she
can't take another bath.
No, we didn't.
I can't believe it.
You didn't have to take another bath.
I thought she didn't make back.
Yeah.
I really can't.
She would never
I
ever
can't.
spank him.
No,
Oh, that was,
not Butch.
You did that time.
You didn't dare touch him.
No.
She probably spanked you.
We
You didn't
No.
dare touch him.
I know a story.
I can't remember her spanking
Oh,
any of
sorry.
us, really.
Grandma was about 90, 91, 92, something like that. And I was always go to Grandma's house for lunch. You probably all heard the story. But one day, Grandma's meals were 10-course meals, but anyhow, one day she was mad at her, just spitting nails. I said, Grandma, why is she so mad? She said, oh, I forgot a recipe. I forgot a recipe. She's still banging pots and pans around it. I let her do a little longer, and I said, no, what is this you're trying to remember? And she described it as one little taster. I must have been 40 at the time. I said, Grandma, I've known you for 4 years and I've never seen you make this. Now, the woman's 91 years old. And she says, well, I never made it, but I saw my mom make it once when I was a little girl. And she was madder than hell about it. She was so mad.
Speaking of her being mad, I can remember one of the few stories from my childhood was when she was 4, when I was 4 or 5. I must have been down at the tavern with my dad. My mom always put the oil burners up and put all the pipes up for the oil burner in the living room. My dad never helped her with that. She always did it. And I was down with my dad and we came home for lunch. And we got just inside the door and I can remember her going up those stairs. She was so mad because she put all those pipes up and they had fallen down. She was just livid. She was so mad. And I can remember looking at my dad and saying, can we go somewhere else for lunch? I was afraid to stay there with her. He said, yeah, we go down the tavern and sandwich. And when I was little, I had been across the street. She didn't like me to be across the street at Mickey Rings. And I was over there, and I don't know what the specific instance was, but she came and brought me home. This is one of those things you learn early in life about when not to laugh. She brought me home, she bawled me out all the way home, and for some reason, it was during the summer, and I went into the living room where we very seldom went into the living room. And I sat on the couch, and it was right in line with where that front door was. I usually didn't go into the living room because that door had all those little panes of glass. And I was always thinking somebody was looking at me through those panes of glass, so I was afraid to go into that room. But because the door was open, I went in and sat down. And I didn't say a word, not a peep. I didn't move. I just sat there. All of a sudden, she comes walking past me. She goes right out the front door and she says, Donna, you get home here. You're not supposed to be over there. And she turned around and she saw me and I wanted to laugh so bad. And I knew that if I laughed, I probably wasn't going to live another day. So first time I can remember, don't laugh.
That's good.
I remember when she got mad at me one time too, and I don't remember what the incident was, but she looked right at me and she said, you young people do not know how to raise a family, and Pauline is no better either.
Back to me.
Oh boy, she made it into me that day. I wish I had known what I had done.
Oh, don't worry about that. A lot of times I didn't know what I did.
Rita, remember when we'd stay at the trailer and she'd want to turn the heat down? So she'd make you and I go to bed and then we'd always be hungry. She'd go back and forth to the kitchen. She would make anything. You and I would lay in those bunk beds. Oh, God.
Yeah.
We'd lay in those bunk beds, all curled up under the blankets. And she'd keep bringing us food. And, man, we kept it up. We sucked that up as long as we could. Toast with the cinnamon sugar on it.
Yeah. I remember staying at your place and sleeping under the feather tick things, you know.
Oh God.
You
Do
could see the
remember how
ceiling
many
and that was
coats
all.
she used to put on?
Yeah. Oh, you
that
just
You
roasted,
could-
you know, it was like a hot air balloon laying on top of you.
Yeah.
And then in the morning we'd eat toast bread with milk.
Cream bread.
Cream
Cream
bread.
Milk and sugar.
And if it was during the
That was
summer
good.
and it
I
was
like
going to
that,
storm, we had to sleep with our shoes on in case we had to cross electric wires to get out of the house.
You didn't sleep with your shoes on?
No, we saw our shoes on when there was a storm.
Oh, Anthony always woke us up so we could stand there and watch the storm. And we never went to the basement, but we stood there and watched a lot of storms.
Yeah, he always watched this one.
Oh, Grandma, nice.
Hi, Deanna. Is that it? Do you have any more in there?
No.
Oh, well, one time I had a bunch of clothes to wash and Mom went at the washing and she put her fiberglass drapes in with all the underwear.
I remember.
We all remember that.
She's been all over church the next day and
I remember that, and they had to go to school, and they all took a bath in the morning, and, oh, God, I'm itching, what's wrong? I'd say, get in and take another one. Every one of them took 2 baths that morning, and it didn't help one bit, because she had put fiberglass drapes in with a whitewash in order to save soap and water. Well, I ended up throwing all the clothes away because you can't get that out.
That, I'll never forget that. We itched like crazy.
Oh, that was awful. I can remember Dick especially because he was itching something awful.
I can remember that she would make cakes, and I've never seen her use an electric mixer in her life. The bowl was always right here between her legs, and she could do anything with that wooden spoon.
Oh, yeah?
Fudge, any kind of consistency cake. I can't do that. I don't know how she ever had the arm muscle strength to do that.
I came from hoeing in the garden, she'd hoe all day. They had that big garden.
Oh,
It
yeah?
it could be 95 degrees out there, none of the rest of us could be out there, and she'd hoe all afternoon. Never use her knees, bend from her back, and pull all those weeds out, hour after hour.
She planted that whole lot, was all potatoes. I'd always get Uncle John to help me plant the potatoes, because at that time Grandma would be up at school. And he'd always say to me, "What are you going to do with all them potatoes?" Well, she gave them away, you know, but my God, I'll tell you, when you harvested them, there were bushels and bushels. But during the summer then, whenever there was a potato plant that didn't grow or didn't come up, a cabbage plant went in that spot. We had cabbage all over that potato plant. Well, she made sauerkraut by the barrels, you know.
Oh, God, I wouldn't go
Yeah.
home, she'd make that sauerkraut. I can't stand the smell of sauerkraut to this day. You walk in the door and it was so bad you didn't believe it.
We're all
I'll never forget that.
too young to remember. I was like, oh, and she used to have, Dad was in Prohibition days, he made his own beer for taverns, and he sold it. So he could have ended up in jail, but that's what he was doing.
Tony used to peddle it in his little wagon.
Oh,
really?
Uh-huh.
And then Mom would cap all of it. She would help make them, what do you call it, when you put the yeast and everything
Malt.
in. The malt. And then once in a while, it would go wrong. So she'd have to take all those caps off and pour it all out, start all over again. And she capped a lot of beer. I can just see her sitting there with that machine, not automatic or anything, it was all muscle.
I remember her root beer.
And her root beer. Can you remember the root
That's
beer?
good.
That was good.
I remember some that exploded up in
Yeah.
there.
You talk about her work, I remember when she must have been about, when she was real up from, must have been 92 at that time. And she needed some dirt around her trailer. And Bob Michaelsberger brought her that bucket full of the end loader, the whole bucket full, and dumped in the driveway. And I didn't even know I'd come, and I would call her all the time from Kramer to see how she was doing. I must call her for 2 hours, and I couldn't get her, I'm going over there. And I got over there, and here's this little old woman with a little bitty metal pail,
No.
and this shovel had just about moved all that dirt by herself. Looked like a little farmer with a shovel, you know? She said, well, it's gotta get done, and she did it.
Mom, who told you about her being on the hillside one of those last summers she was at home? When she was working on weeding the flower bed, and she slipped and did a somersault forward and just popped right back up and
Looked
went
around
back
and
to
go
weed.
down.
Yeah, looked around to make sure nobody sees
That's
her.
right,
Went
yeah.
back to weeding.
Yeah. And then after a while,
That must have been one of the neighbors.
That
then
is
when she
too long
told you
ago.
about it finally, then she'd say, "Don't you tell anybody."
She would have little escapades with the clothesline too, you know. She'd start to fall and then she'd hold on to the clothesline so she wouldn't fall. But one time she could break it, she fell.
Well, she was a little short for that clothesline. She had to really stretch to get to that. And she,
Today she got a birthday card from President Clinton and a papal blessing from the Pope. And her story was that she thinks she got that because they'd been reading the home news and they'd seen the picture in the paper. We all know the Pope reads widely. And especially home news.
You know, I think that's when she got fired up for this party, when she got home from the Pope. Because that was her comment, and she's been fired up since that day. Before that, she kept saying, I don't think the students have this party, but she got home from the Pope, really fired her up. Home news, it's looks like
we should send a comment to the whole newspaper thanking him for notifying the whole information about Mary Butter's 100th birthday. We really should do that.
being in that nursing home, and she is the youngest person there. And she will always complain to him about these old people.
Yeah.
Usually these old people are 20 years younger than she is, but these old people, what do they think they can do with these old people here?
And they
These
are
old
crazy.
folks.
Yeah,
And they're
why can't
crazy.
they find a different place for the crazy ones, because they're gonna drive her crazy.
They're gonna drive, you'll be,
Put them in a separate place, Sean.
yes,
Yeah, and Joni, remember when you were in the exercise room with her?
yes.
And she was watching other people exercise, and
Yeah.
she said, well, you can't do much with old bones.
I know, real life. And she's not bashful. She'll say this right in front of these people. She'll comment on, gosh, she weighs too much, and then she thinks she's gonna walk.
She's crazy, they don't know what she's saying. She came home one day from senior citizens lunch, and I said, well, how was the lunch today, Mom? Well, it was pretty good, but I'll tell you, that beef was pretty hard for some of those old people to cut and to eat. But she was there eating.
And Pauline Volk used to do that too. She'd always talk about those old duffers. Old duffers, they were. Grandma does the same thing.
Yeah.
But that's the
Okay, are you
part.
okay? I forgot about you. Are you ready to go or?
No, not yet, probably.
No, we'll just finish with the story.
Okay.
And I think when Uncle Albert died, and he was 94 years old, you know, that was so hard for her, but then a few days later, she got really, really angry, and all the anger came out, and I said, well, why are you so angry? She said, because he shouldn't have died. Somebody did something wrong. Somebody didn't take care of him because he was only 94 years old, and there's no excuse for dying when you're only 94 years old. There was
And she should have been out there taking care of it.
somebody didn't take care of him. Yes.
Hi, Ernie.
We tell stories all about you, come on in.
Where is,
She's coming.
Ruth? Where'd she go?
Well, Grandma.
What, Julie? Oh, is she? I can't see you at all. I have no idea. She broke her hip. Just listen. And the day she got so crazy, I said, I'm just listening.
Oh, that was something, wasn't it?
Good story, tell us.
Tell us.
Tell
No, well, she, finding the medication, you know, had worn off, but she had something, I think someone woke her up early in the morning or something, and she was disoriented. She just went crazy. She wouldn't let them come near her. She wouldn't, she got one of the nurse's hands in her mouth and really darn her bit it off it. And she just really went bonkers.
She's
And
in
then,
hospital nurse.
yeah, she was still in the
Well, Julie
hospital.
and Jerry went to visit her.
They got
No, we
stuck
got a
for the
phone
day.
call. They tried to get a hold of
Oh,
everybody
that's
and no
right.
one else answered.
Yeah, so
And
Julie and Jerry went over.
one thing was in there, they called me and said, you have to come, your grandma's a little crazy. And I got it.
got
And she thought we were killing her, is what she thought all
Yeah.
afternoon, and they ended up putting her in straps and stuff. Remember, you got her at the hospital.
Well, she wouldn't let them come into the room.
No, she
couldn't
said, get
come
out of
in
my
the
room, you're gonna kill me.
She thought Jerry was gonna be the person who was her savior. And when Jerry came into the room, she said, Jerry, you gotta help me, you gotta call the police, they're trying to kill me. And Jerry said, no, Grandma, I don't think they're trying to kill me. She said, I'm gonna tell every person I told I thought you were nice, that you're not nice at all. You didn't help me, you were supposed to help me, and you didn't help me one bit, and I'm gonna go back and tell everybody I told I thought you were nice.
Yeah, we had some pretty good fights before that day was over. Julie finally found me, and then I battled with her for a while. They had to call me again the next morning,
Yes.
because she woke up the same way at 6 o'clock. And the nurses went as far as the door and went back to the phone and called. You come take care of her.
She was spitting food at them and everything.
They're trying to poison me.
Demerol
was
Remember when we were younger, the neighbor kid that beat us up or something?
From the end,
Grandma would jump in there and, back to what she'd give him a tongue lashing.
Or she had the rake in her hand.
Oh, all our friends were afraid of Grandma.
Steve Ray, he tells me, yeah, how he used to be scared of her. He'd walk past her to go to school, and she'd come out, and she'd just laugh past him, something awful. He just got his foot on the grass. She was awful.
Okay. Who went, who? You, you went to St. Luke's school when she was cooking up there.
Yep.
You did. You know how she used to save, she used to have ice cream bars in the back? And after school, we'd stop in and have an ice cream bar before we headed home? Now, none of the other kids ever got ice cream bars. Well, I didn't get one of those either. You were gone by that time. And then remember how the nuns used to be so that everybody had to clean their plate, everybody had to eat everything?
Boy, that made Grandma mad.
That was just okay until they bothered one of us. And then she took on the nuns too.
And she'd come home from working, and the first thing would be sit down in front of that TV and watch as the world turns. How many years did she watch that? You couldn't talk, you couldn't do nothing until that show was over. Then the rest of the day went on. You gotta get that show in.
Talking about the ice cream bars, I remember when she was at the store with you and Tony, and you had that big bench in that corner, like a big bench out of a school bus or something. I don't know, it had a tall back, it was upholstered, and next to it was the ice cream freezer, and it was Saturday night the store was always open, right?
Yeah.
And we'd all go down to get groceries, and all of us would line up on that bench, and she'd give us all an ice cream or a popsicle while you did the shopping. That store was neat.
I think we can all remember how she, at least she did it when I didn't, but she'd line up your shoes on Saturday night. Well, we only had one pair of shoes, and that was for the weekend, for Sunday. And if I didn't do that, we'd start polishing those shoes so they'd be cleaned up for Sunday morning. And they looked nice too. But they all had only one pair of shoes.
And if any of the kids would come home from school and we'd bitch a little bit about the teachers, boy, I'll tell you, she'd turn on me and she'd, get up there, straighten them out up there on the hill. For God's sake, tell them where they should be. And I'd just turn around and I'd look at my kids and I'd say, should I go up and talk to the teacher? No, Mom. And then I'd catch hell. Then I could really catch it because I didn't stick up for my kids.
Yeah.
And she did, you know, and boy, she'd get mad at me, but I'd always just look at her and say, Grandma, there's two sides to every story.
But it wasn't any of her kids, they would do nothing.
No, we
Very
did nothing.
protective of the family, and everybody in the outside, always them.
They were always wrong.
They all knew they were out of Grandma too.
She's still like that. Even her darning, man, she'll darn anybody's socks if it's in the family, but God forbid, you bring it in.
Oh, I
They
know.
there's something Father Bill.
Yeah, it's only because he's a priest. She wasn't too thrilled, but she looked at him for a couple of days. She did. She kind of, the first time they were there, I said, oh, who are these? And she kind of tossed them. What I got these for? He's a priest, Grandma. You better go along with it.
Yeah, we don't tell her if we take it anybody's socks, but they're always.
Yeah, I've taken others, but I pawn them off as ours. Where I almost get caught though is if they're there for a while, and then she says, no, you gotta pick your socks out of here, and there's this pair that'll be there for a while, and I'll think, oh God, now are those somebody else? I don't remember anymore. That's where you get caught.
Somebody at work had some socks for her to darn. I took them down, and I told her they were Molly's. Well, the next time Molly came in, she said, did those socks fit you okay, Molly? Oh, did Molly? Oh, yes, they did.
I understand kind of hard, Molly. When I looked at those socks, I thought, Molly, where's Steve?
Yeah, there was a pair that she had that she said was Molly's. I said, Molly can't wear these. They're way too big.
I have big feet. I don't know if they got that. Ooh.
I remember
Sorry.
when she used to make bread. What, every other day she made bread? She'd make, 2 to 4 loaves of bread? And there was the big bin in the cupboard in the old kitchen where she put 25 pound bag of flour in. I don't know how she ever got that flour home. She must have gone to the store and just brought it home herself, but in a wagon.
She carried it.
She carried it, and then they didn't have carts or anything at that time. And then they would, she'd make the bread, and the bread would be rising, and I'd grab the dough, because I always liked the fresh dough, and she'd always say, it's going to make your stomach stick together, it's going to make your stomach stick together.
Or you can
We're
get
going to get worms. You're going to make your stomach stick together.
Oh, but watermelon, she was always afraid if you ate too much watermelon, you'd blow it up.
You could never have corn on the cob.
Yeah.
Because you'll blow it and explode.
Or you get convulsions. You can't have just corn. You get convulsions from corn.
Oh.
She had to have meat with it.
people hear from Woody's the stories that they couldn't tell us about the things she did over there.
Oh, yeah, I heard some of them. Well, I don't know, I worked with somebody who worked with her over there, and she said, we were just talking last week, and she said, I worked with your grandmother, and she said she ran circles around all the kids over there. Boy, she said she was a worker.
Yeah, she was always telling those young kids what they should
Coming
be
to
doing
it
too.
Yeah.
And they told me how they tell her not to do this and not to do that, and she would go in the bathroom or something, come out, she was high and right, but she never listened to us, she just
But then she'd come home and then she'd scold them
Oh,
all
yeah.
over there.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
they were clean, they were so darn dirty and everything was wrong, you know.
Yeah. But she'd go right back again the next day, as long as she could do it.
Mm-hmm. And do you remember that little white tri-cornered apron she always wore? She
Yeah.
washed that every day and ironed it, starched it. She had that same apron every day. She took her own rags along for the work that she did over there and bring them home and wash them.
Yeah, I very seldom remember her not having an apron on.
Oh, never.
She would take the apron off when she went to church.
She wore one to somebody's funeral. Whose was that? She wore her apron to somebody's funeral one time.
Yeah, I remember that
Took her coat off and had her apron.
She was mad.
I remember the fish fries up there at St. Luke's, even
Oh.
5 years ago. She got to peel 100 pounds of potatoes by herself in one day.
Yeah, and did you notice she always took her white gloves along? The potatoes were too hot. So she always took white gloves along so she could peel those potatoes. But then she'd sit by herself. She didn't want anybody paying any attention to how she did it. She always said to me, they don't even see them eyes in those potatoes. They don't dig them out.
Well, that is true. I see that all the time. But she would hear, while she was working, she'd be listening to what everyone else was saying, and she'd get all the news that way.
It was her own soap opera.
Yeah, she didn't have to participate, she'd get some work done, but she'd hear it all.
Remember when she'd make the shenanigans and they'd be laying over the backs of all the chairs
Yes.
all over the
Yeah.
trailer
Oh, yeah.
while they were drying? And then cut those so thin.
Yeah.
Just sit there. I always thought she was going to cut her fingers, the tips of her fingers off, because she'd have them right
Like
next to the
this.
thing. Yeah, cut them right next to her.
Well, Monica called the other day and she had said she had read some stuff about the family. And she said that both Grandpa Wolf and Grandma Wolf were born in Bavaria. And then they landed in Buffalo, New York in 1980. 1880. And Aunt Elizabeth, that's Ray's mother, was born January something, 1881. So Monica said she must have been pregnant, when they left Germany, and she got to America, and then the baby was born in January.
I'm hungry for needles.
I was just going through this here. Did you read that the first recipe she's got in here? She's got them called knobs. Not needles. Knobs.
Oh, were those ever the
Knobs are not needles?
That was what Grandma Wolf made, and they were,
Well, this is,
had a prune filling in them.
no, this is a regular Canadian Pauline, only she spelled it wrong.
I think if you look at, there should be 2 recipes for
Oh.
potatoes in there.
Those
Yeah.
And she's even got different ingredients in those.
There's 2 recipes in here.
Yeah.
She did them all. We can never
Remember
replicate
one time
anything.
when we videotaped her doing that maldash for Christmas? We got a video of her doing maldash. And it was a funny as thick strips. And I put a little bit of sugar in it, that cinnamon sugar. She must have put 6 handfuls in her. We had put a pinch in and she just kept growing.
That's why when any of the rest of us make maldashin for TJ, he always says it's not as good as great grandma. That's probably
No,
why.
I got a videotape doing it, so.
Joni, show that picture of me with the coat on and let that go into the camera. This picture of me is the result of my mother, who was sure that I would be cold no matter where I went at whatever time of the year.
Because she always was.
Because she always was cold. I would go to the free movies that Joni and Judy and Rita's dad would run downtown in the middle of the summer, and I would have on cotton stockings with a garter belt, and I would have on pants and snow pants and my winter coat, and the scarf, and gloves. She was, but she always said, and if somebody, be careful, there might be somebody hiding behind the trees on the way home. Nobody would have taken me if somebody had handed out. Unless they wanted my clothes. She would nobody. There is nobody who would come after you. Not at all.
No, there's not. She would wear it one time though, because she was always cold. She was much smaller than I ever thought she was, because she always had on 3 or 4 outfits.
Yeah.
It was always like a slip and then a skirt and a blouse and a dress on top of that, and then the apron on top of that. She was only half the size she ever looked.
Well, and after nursing home, she always has to have a slip on. I'll say, Mom, why don't you just eliminate that? You don't need that on. And she always says, well, I'll tell you, if some of these women wore slips, their dresses would look a lot nicer with that slip underneath.
She wears a slip, but she doesn't worry about her underwear. Donna and I are going to take her down to dinner one day. Where were those underwear?
In her wheelchair.
They were in her wheelchair. They were in her wheelchair.
What the hell is this?
I've got this on film.
Let's get this carpet dirty.
Oh my God, you're probably wrong.
You got that right. Not anybody here, but.
She was always sure I was going to be cold.
When Butch was a baby, if I ever went anyplace, took him along, she always made me use a bed quilt to wrap him in. And my God, I'd have such an armful. And one time I was up home and I wrapped him up and I put him in the car. And I put him in the car and I don't know what I had to do, but anyhow, the little fellow rolled right out of the car. You never knew he rolled out because he was so wrapped up in the he never knew, he never cried or nothing. Picked him up and I put him back in. And when Judy was baptized, Judy and Joni, when you were baptized, I held Judy. She had her so wrapped up, so help me God, I didn't know where the baby was. And when Father said, now take off the cap, I couldn't find her for the She was only this big,
Yeah, she was all that.
And mind you, she was really wrapped, I'll tell you. We never froze when Grandma was around.
No.
Never.
Oh, I can remember when we had only the oil heaters. And so the only heat upstairs in the big bedroom, and there were 2 double beds in that bedroom, and there was still plenty of room for dressers, so that was a big room. And it was Mom and Butch. And when Butch went to sleep, he would always pull on her ear. That was how he went to sleep. He would pull on her earlobe. And grab his ear. And I would be in the next bed, and then it must have been, Mary John must have been in bed with me then afterwards. And, because we didn't have any heat, it would be the heated up bricks. She must have put them in the oven, or the hot water bottle, and then she would put the towel over it, and it would be so hot when you got in bed that you didn't dare put your feet on it, even with the towel around you, because it was so hot. Why nothing ever caught fire, I have no idea. But then in the middle of the night, that'd be just snugly warm, And then we'd get up in the morning, we'd always have our clothes laid out, and they'd be downstairs, and we'd take the clothes and put them on the oil burner to warm them up. So we'd stand beside the oil burner to stay warm until it was time to get into our clothes. And then it was Butch and I who'd go down and get our clothes on, and then Mary Ann would wake us up, and then we'd go to school because she was already gone up there.
3 o'clock in the morning, Grandma got up to go. I don't care how deep the snow, how cold it was. 3 o'clock in the morning, she was up and she would meet Molly at a corner and then they'd walk up together.
And they would start the bread. Start the bread.
And walk in there where it was pitch dark in the morning.
They always had their flashlights.
And those meals were wonderful.
Yeah, they haven't had any like that.
Homemade bread every day. Every day. They made all those loaves of bread. And she told me one time a story of where she misread the clock.
Oh, yeah.
Well, remember that?
Yeah.
And it was like 3 o'clock and she was sitting up there waiting for Aunt Molly.
Yeah.
she was all dressed at 2 or something. She woke up at 1 and she was up there at 2 or 3 o'clock and she wasn't supposed to meet her till 4.
You guys know Grandma knows how to read a clock yet. What time for setting a clock? If it was a analog clock, if Grandma wanted to get up at 5:30, she didn't set it for half between 5 and 6. She'd tell herself to get up at 5, and she'd get up at 5. And she thought that was only one of the, should we put 2 hands on an alarm clock? And she said both. She didn't realize that it had to be in the middle. She always sat up by herself with the alarm clock. She never used alarm clock.
I can remember that she would say to me before I left the house, these were the code words. For anything that could possibly happen to me, this was my guardian angel. Have you got a clean hanky?
Yeah.
If I had a clean hanky and I got raped, it would take care of me. No matter what.
Or clean underwear.
Clean underwear.
Clean underwear.
And I remember the night that she woke me up when she was having a heart attack. And she said, get me a pair of clean underwear and go down and get your brother. And then she put on those clean underwear before I went down and told Anthony to call the doctor to the house and before she got into the...
I still have a hard time believing she had a heart attack.
I know. That was 40 years ago.
I know.
Well, excuse me, but we know who her doctor was. She probably had indigestion.
If Carol was here, she'd tell the story about when she was all dressed up for prom, her junior prom, all dolled up and everything, and she's going out the door with her guy in the tux, and Grandma goes, "You got a clean hanky?"
Oh, Rita, you got to tell the story about the chest. The chest of drawers.
Oh, was that?
Yeah, she took the knobs off.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta tell a story about your quarters.
Dad put that together.
Oh, okay.
When we used to go out at night, she'd always say, wrap a quarter in a napkin and stick it in your bra in case you need to call for a ride home. And pin the key to the door inside your bra too, because nobody can get it there unless you want them to.
Talk about a cheap tip.
Jason, you got one.
Not really.
Yeah, you told it to me earlier.
Oh, that was bogus.
I know.
Close these are too, Jason.
Well, I remember the time when she'd get me out of Grandma's house and about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we'd go downtown and knock out streetlights with her slingshot. That was pretty fun.
Was that Prohibition days?
Yeah.
I remember she always wanted to fly in a plane. I didn't know that until one time a friend of ours was home from Alaska, and he flew a plane, and he rented a plane at Lone Rock, and we went over and went up in the airplane with him. And when we came home, she said, "Oh, I would have really loved to have done that." I said, "Well, why didn't you say something? I didn't even know you ever wanted to get in an airplane." And so then, I don't know how old she was, but it only has been 7 or 8 years ago
Yeah, she was in her
that
90s.
I booked the flight to go up to visit Aunt Mary and Uncle Albert in St. Paul. And when she tried to get out of it the last couple of days, I said, "Well, Mom, you don't go. You know, with my mother, it's all, you can do anything to my mother as long as you tell her you're going to lose money." And I said, "If you don't go, we pay for it, we can't get a refund, I'm just out that money, so you have to go with me." So then Rita came and videotaped it, didn't you, when we got back or something, and she flew up to St. Paul, and then a year or two later, she flew all the way to Dallas with Pauline and I to have Christmas at Carol's. So she's used every mode of transportation there was. You have to remember when she was born, there was not electricity, there was not cars,
No refrigeration.
no refrigeration, no conveniences of any kind.
Well, to stop and think, there weren't a lot of those things when I was born either.
You didn't have to say that,
We went to school in a horse and wagon and...
She's changed in that.
Just like that. Staggering.
That's incredible. The technology.
You want to go?
It's changed.
You bet, and the kids can't believe that either, that we had to live like that.
And she actually, considering where she started from, she always changed with things pretty
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Never really got stuck in any kind of a mold where she couldn't keep going.
She tells a lot about
Let's see where we're at here.
how they used to eat when they were growing up. Everything was real sour, absolutely no sugar added to anything. It was vinegar and lard. And they put that, she told me that lots of times how they would have a haystack or a straw stack, something like that. And in the spring, then her mother would plant the lettuce seed when they grew some of that, and how that would grow, and then it was just vinegar and lard that they put over it.
Yeah, if they had flour and vinegar and lard, they could make anything.
Very, I said something to her one day, didn't your folks ever buy sugar? And she said, well, yeah, we had some sugar, but we didn't eat any sugar. We didn't use it like that.
What do they use it for?
I suppose we made the cake occasionally.
Wouldn't you need some sugar in bread? You need a little sugar to make the bread rise.
Yeah, we do
For
need
the
some
yeast.
sugar, yeah.
Remember how much she used to get when any of us were getting married?
Oh, God.
Oh, we all
It
got
wasn't so bad when you got married, but every time I got pregnant, oh, was that hell to pay?
You didn't work very fast.
I had to have somebody to learn money.
You was teaching the wrong person.
I got so damn sick every time I knew I was pregnant because I thought, oh, I'm going to get hell wrong again.
Well, she said, today, she was telling us today that 5 months after Judy and you were born, she was pregnant again. I was so damn mad. She said, I know he was just trying to prove that he was young. I said, well, I think he was just trying to keep up with his young wife.
Maybe that's why she was always kind of crappy when she hung all those diapers. String of ropes across the whole kitchen and hang all that full of diapers. You just had to weed your way through to get from one end of the house to the other.
That's right, I forgot about
Yeah,
that. We always have to close
Yeah,
it.
I couldn't see.
Diapers for 4 babies at one time.
Yeah.
She'd hang in that kitchen. There was that wood molding around. She'd take a hammer and in would go a nail, another nail, and the string would go across the diaper. And that would be all diapers, and at 4:30 I'd have to get up with Tony and he would dive under them diapers. The stove was over there, the refrigerator was there, and that's all you did was underneath. Diapers. Oh, my. And then we had a wash in the kitchen, and the washing machine was always out on that real old back porch. It just barely hung together. You had to lift it up one step into the kitchen, and then you had 2 tubs, rinse tubs. And then they always had a plug in them. So help me God, if you got a piece of a diaper or something caught on that plug, it would pull it out, whoosh, the water all over the kitchen floor, down in the one corner under that big heavy stove we had. Oh, she wasn't the only one that got mad. I got mad lots of times too. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was something. Yeah. And that stove that was such a nuisance. She hated that stove. And there was nothing we could do about it. It was a big, heavy old stove.
That wood burning stove?
Mm-hmm. With the oil. Yeah.
Well, I didn't remember it had oil in it. I
Yeah,
remember it
That
had
was
wood.
the, what do you call it?
The
Made
wood
it
oil
over. It was wood
combination.
and they made it over into oil, converted it.
For cooking?
Yeah.
I remember being out on the back porch and using the Ringer washing machine, and I remember getting my hand caught through it a couple times. And how much you had to haul the water back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't just
Lifted everything
turn a
up.
faucet on. You had to go in, take a pail of water out of the kitchen, and then you had to carry that out and put it in there.
That was in the summertime.
People in the same boat as far as that goes.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Everybody did it that
And
way.
one time with those oil burners, you know, she was always so particular about cleaning the pipes out. And the one time they did come down, they were full of soot. And, I'll tell you, you didn't stay around in that house that day either. I took my kids and went up to my ma's because, boy, the language.
You didn't know Grandma knew that.
Did she burn her eyebrows off?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Yes.
It exploded and burned up.
Burned the top of her head a little bit.
What about when she drove the car through the garage?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Dad got too many drinks over at Spring Green, so he couldn't drive home. He was over visiting his uncle, and he treated him too royally. And so Mom thought she would try to drive the car home. I don't know what happened. Did she drive through a shed or something, or?
I always thought the story was that she pulled into the garage and instead of hitting the brake, hit the gas and just went straight out the other end.
I don't know what garage was.
The garage right next door there. The old garage that opened, you know, the doors opened out like this, your old garage.
We never had a
I
garage.
think this
Yeah,
one
not a carport, not a carport. No, but on the other side of the house.
There was a garage there. Was it
But wasn't that added, built later?
That wasn't our garage.
Well, it was at that time.
Yeah, Daddy used to fix cars in there.
Yeah, but when we first moved there, that wasn't our garage. That was the old Verse garage. That was Joe Operator's. He always kept his Verse in that in there.
Oh, boy.
But I don't know. I remember her telling about driving that time. Well, Pauline used to start driving too, and every car she met, she'd always stop at the side of the road and let that car go by.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I did. Remember you would hang your run over the oil barrels driving into the driveway that time? Yeah, so I put on the brakes mighty fast.
Well, she never did learn how to drive a car. Would have been a good thing if she could have learned how to drive a car.
Yeah.
Probably didn't put it on a little bit.
I can remember going, I was pretty young, probably 7 or 8, 8 or 9, and I can remember sitting in the front seat. I don't know who was driving, whether it was Uncle Tony or one of the boys, but in the back seat it was my mom and Aunt Pauline and Aunt Annie and somebody else, and they had been up to Linden Station picking blueberries. And those women had such a good time. I can remember my mom cutting off the heads of the chicken because you would buy live chicken that time and they'd hang on to their legs and put their head on a chopping block and you'd chop off the head. And then she'd let them go and those chickens would be flapping all around the garden. You know? I used to love to watch that. I thought it was really pretty cute.
I thought it was terribly cruel.
And I remember going up to the farm and Aunt Annie and Uncle Tony's with her when they had freshen, and they'd make pies and all this stuff for days ahead. And I know they'd butcher chicken and then they'd take all these chicken, cut the heads off. I wasn't there for that part, but then we'd dip that chicken into boiling hot water to soak those feathers and pull them back out, and pull those feathers out one by one or in groups.
Yeah, get all the pin feathers off, yeah.
Yeah.
We used to do a lot of blackberry picking up at Uncle Tony's too. We always went up there blackberry picking.
Well, then
That was
I
fun.
got to tell Brian Pauline, when she was raised kids, she called me up once in a while and said, let's go someplace. So she called up this particular day and she said, let's go up to Carl's. I've been calling them and they always keep telling me I got the wrong number. And I say, I do not have the wrong number. And
I can just hear her.
Who sings that?
And Grandma would say.
Pauline?
Aunt Pauline,
Grandma was trying to call Aunt Pauline.
no, Aunt Pauline was trying to call Uncle Carl's
Oh, okay.
because she wanted to go up there. And
Oh, Aunt Pauline was asking you for a ride.
yeah.
Was she talking to your recording?
Probably. Yeah, she was. Or was there a real,
Yeah.
operator.
No recordings back then.
That was the operator at that time.